Hello, and welcome to RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged, where today I will be taking a look at part 1 of the season 16 premiere. First up, we are calling a mandatory meeting, and fair warning, I will be making those jokes as long as she is in the competition. I think Amanda had a very good entrance look and a solid performance in the mini challenge. Unfortunately, her talent show really didn't hit that bar. She did an original song, which, as I've established in the past, I really don't like. My main issue, though, is that, and I don't know why, her talent show was really giving Pandora Box vibes. As for her runway, I think it is a very good concept. It's just that the execution was not really there at all. Dawn just had an all-around good performance this challenge. I think she definitely had the best entrance line of the group. It was very well branded to her, and that's always something you like to see. I think she was very good in the mini challenge. As for her talent show, it wasn't my personal favorite, but it really showed off her personality and her drag style, and there isn't really much more you can ask for. While she did an original song, I think she was really able to put her own quirky and different twist on it, which is always something I like to see from a queen like Dawn. As for her runway, it was very well executed. I have my notes out in front of me, and all I wrote down for that was unique, very outside of the box, and a very good job on Dawn's part. Next is Mirage. I think Mirage had the best original track of the night. I still don't care for original tracks, but I can definitely admit when it's good. Mirage did a very good job. It was definitely the best of the 5 original tracks, very well written. I personally wouldn't have referenced a better original track in mine, but it was still a pretty good job. I think the dancing was great. As for the runway, I was not living. Her runway was good, not great. Next, we have Morphine. I feel bad saying this. I found her entrance line incredibly basic. I feel like I've heard like 17 different variations of that. It just wasn't my favorite. I will say though, she did a very good job interacting with Love Connie, especially compared to the rest of the cast. As for her talent show, I really didn't enjoy it. I felt like she was kind of holding back a bit. My main issue with her though is the runway. I absolutely hated her runway. I think the original towel look was a little below average, but fine. The swimsuit was god-awful. I don't know what she was thinking. This look was definitely giving me nude delusion. I didn't like the swimsuit to begin with, but it was pretty much over for me when I saw the seam on the back. Next up, we have Q. I absolutely loved this. Q didn't really make too much of an impression for me for the first part of the episode. My notes for her didn't start until the talent show, but all I have to say is wow, Q was absolutely incredible. Doing puppets is always a risk considering how iconic the puppet mini challenge was. I think Q was really able to put her own spin on it. She did an amazing job. Literally the only words I wrote down in my notes for her were amazing and puppets. Just all around very good job, very original, 10 out of 10. As for her runway, easily the best of the night. The only word I wrote for that was great in all caps. This was just an all-around incredible showing. Honestly, one of the most dominant episode 1 performances we have seen in a while. Next up, we have Safia. She did a great job this episode. She has by far my favorite confessional look of the season. One of my favorites ever, just very well executed. I think her talent show performance was amazing. Opera has been done before, but not like this. When she opened her mouth, I had no idea what was happening, but I was living. She did sing live, but she put her own spin on it, which is something I really appreciate. As for her runway, unfortunately, after the first look, every progressing look got worse and worse, ending on the breastplate. I had issues with Safia's breastplate when she first revealed it. It didn't really fit her. I feel kind of bad saying it, but the breastplate didn't look like it was on the right part of her chest, if that makes sense. Something about the breastplate just didn't click for me, but more on that in a minute. Finally, we have Tsunami Muse. I think for the first half of this episode, Tsunami was doing really well. Her confessional look and her entrance look were both really good. She clearly has a great personality. Things kinda take a massive turn for the worse though, starting at the talent show. I really enjoyed the first 15 seconds of her talent show, but the energy kinda tanked and never really recovered. I will add on, in terms of a talent show, I think she had very low production value, especially for an original track. It just kind of felt a bit on the generic side, no offense. Her runway wasn't my favorite of the night, but I really liked her hair and makeup, and I think the color of her runway was absolutely beautiful. Overall though, this performance was a bit of a letdown. In terms of my actual judging, I'm going to have a top 4 of Q, Safia, Mirage, and Dawn. Amanda is going to be safe with a bottom 2 of Morphine and Tsunami. While you could make a pretty strong argument for anyone being in the top 2 out of Q, Safia, and Dawn, I'm going to stick with the original judging and have a top 2 of Q and Safia. They were the clear best 2, and obviously the cast agreed. Since no one is going home this week, Morphine and Tsunami are both going to be low. That leaves Q and Safia lip-syncing to break my soul. I found this lip sync ever so slightly underwhelming. Because of the outfit she was wearing, Q wasn't able to 100% this lip sync. She still did a good job though. Safia, I didn't think she was gonna win, honestly. Performance definitely built up as the song went on. She started off giving a really lyrical-based performance. It was very subtle, and everything she did was focused around performing the lyrics. Then later in the song, she started throwing in more power moves like the slow split or the high kicks. Now to talk briefly about the breastplate situation. I really was not living for the breastplate on the runway, and I wasn't in the lip sync until it started falling off. This video is being recorded about half an hour after the lip sync aired. And the general consensus that I've gotten from the fanbase is that a lot of people really enjoyed that. It was absolutely hilarious. I genuinely had no idea how it was gonna go. I can never tell whether the judges are going to enjoy stuff like that. Obviously they did. It was a very good lip sync on Safia's part. And getting the maxi and mini win on week 1 is always a good sign. If I had to pick a winner right now, my money would be on Safia, although that is definitely subject to change. Just to close things off, I think this was a pretty good premiere. We've definitely seen better. I think 14 and 15 definitely have this one beat. We are really starting to see the fatigue of the lip sync numbers. It is turned from anger at the repetitiveness to just general disappointment. That's really not a good sign. I really hope we get to see more variety in the next variety show. But I guess for now, that's pretty much all I have to say. Please give me your opinions in the comments on who you think is going to take it home. Of this group, my money is definitely on Safia, Q, or Dawn. But I really want to hear other perspectives on this, because I am very biased towards Safia. Hey, it's Drag Race Rejudged. Do you want gay shit? Well then check out the RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged YouTube channel and hit subscribe.